Hey, welcome. We made it. We're in Mexico. Live from Mexico. It's such an honor, such a pleasure to be able to be here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody around, for coming. It has been a great experience. It's a beautiful country, not only because I'm from here, but because it really is. Really. So yeah, how do you feel? How do you guys feel after your flights?
I feel good, man. The frijoles here, they're
Nothing
that's
like
another
that,
world.
right?
Another world. It's like, you know, they take a side dish and turn it into something amazing. So
You can order beans with beans.
beans, just beans. You want beans? Get beans.
And the beaches are amazing. We got a chance to do a little bit of time on the beach, so we're recovered, we're refreshed, and we're really excited to have put together such an incredible show. I mean, we've been running around like locos. Is that how they say?
Very. You wouldn't imagine.
And we're really happy and proud to be here. I mean, the goal of our show, as usual, is to make everyone in the entire Worldview Network something that everyone in the world can try to relate to. You know, we have so many special teachers here today, and we're very excited to introduce to you guys our friends and our family and organizers. So what else would you like to?
Yeah, no, I just feel
what's
like
on the show today?
Yeah, okay, let's just review in general. Okay, first we need to talk about like this beautiful place. I'm saying like the whole area has been, I don't know how to say, run by a wonderful team of people that we want you to know, to get to know, and we want you as well to know what they are doing. So I think that's kind of a goal for this show, that we explore this land and the amazing people that is working over here for it. We have, of course, Geshe-La's special teachings, amazing teachings. I checked the videos, very cool content you will see. What else do we have? We have a few interviews.
Show them that.
Oh gosh, we're gonna be auctioning off this beautiful piece of beadwork here. So if you're someone who likes people and likes to give them things, you should give some money to us so we can share it around. There's some amazing projects, and this is going to help fund some of the amazing projects that are happening here. We're going to tell you all about it. We're so happy to be here. I can't tell you how happy I am to see my friends. I haven't seen some of these people I haven't seen in years. So I'm really happy. I feel so warmly embraced. So,
and it's definitely one of the most fun or the funniest sangas in the world that I know. One of the most. Just saying.
Sweet. So without further ado, what we want to do, again, you know, we're new to this whole thing. We're just learning how to put a show together, and it's giving us a lot of experience. But in fact, we're super inspired, and we've learned a lot from some of our friends who have been doing a lot of cool things over here in Mexico. So usually, you know, we feel like one of us is going to be part of introducing everyone, but they're so advanced above us that we're going to let them take over the show here. So should we just go ahead and cut over to our friends, let them introduce themselves to the world?
Let's do it. Let's meet them.
Cool. Let's go over to set number 2 and meet everyone here.
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Paulina, and I'm very happy and excited to be with all of my friends here in Guadalajara, Mexico. Thank you guys for coming. Peachtree World News. It's amazing that you guys are here. Thank you for coming all the way to Guadalajara. And I just want to everyone introduce themselves and say something about what you guys are doing, what are the projects you are running, because these people is amazing, and this is a beautiful sangha that I'm so proud to be part of. So let's start with Lucia.
Okay. Hi, I am Lucia Pichardo. I was the person who buy the first ticket for the first retreat with Geshe-La, and I am so proud. And I am so happy to be here, more than a friend, a family, and a family that gives you everything you need. I am in charge of finances, and also on Mondays, we are doing a 4 steps circle here at Monasterio, where we do the first steps in a group and work all together to help each one and rejoice. That's mostly what I do.
Hello, I'm Berta Gonzalez. I'm very proud to be here and to be part of this marvelous Sangha, the most beautiful in the world. And my English is not good enough, and I say only I'm proud of being here.
My name is Anatole. I like the color blue. My favorite food is ice cream. I like to swim, actually, these days. And I'm here in Mexico for a few years now. My Spanish is getting better slowly. And with my family, Aisha and Kyrie, together and with a lot of people here, we run a project called Green Stretch Pen. Funny name, great idea. Check it out. We'll be talking more about it later.
My name is Aisha. I'm very happy to be here today too, with all my family, like Lucia said. I've been in Mexico for 15 years or more, I think. We have a little Mexican here with Anatole. And we've been serving very happily to this project called Green Stretch Pen. You're gonna find out more about, like Anatole said. I also help with the Sanskrit department of ALL, the library, and I'm very happy with everybody here.
Hello, my name is Aldo Arzapalo. It's really an honor to be here at Peachtree World News with all the family, the Mexican family. I'm part of this group of Asian wisdom, which we teach and preserve and translate this Asian wisdom, and we make it accessible to the community, Spanish-speaking community. And we also work with these projects of seed partners, and we work with this beautiful institution, Casa Huichol, which you're gonna see a video soon, an interview with the director. It's amazing, and it's just amazing to be here.
Okay, I'm Alex. My favorite color is blue too. Sometimes red. It can change, but well, I teach the ancient wisdom here, exactly here where we are. We teach the courses. I've been studying for a while now, and I love it. And I'm very happy to be here. I'm just here to have fun.
Hi, I'm Rosalia. I'm from Guadalajara. I'm so honored. I'm so happy to be here with you. And I'm in charge of Spanish translation team. So.
Thank you.
Sophie.
Hola, Sophie from Guadalajara. Since 2012, serving with ACI Mexico, organizing retreats, especially now helping with communication, and also working for YSI. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow.
Hi, my name is Flavia. I'm going to be sharing with you things about healthy eating with the show Peachtree Healthy Eating Show. Tomorrow we are going to have recipes with Sophie and her family. And yes, I'm so happy to be here too.
And as I said before, my name is Paulina. I'm from Guadalajara, Mexico. And this show is a very special show for all of us because you might already know that we celebrate Geshe Michael's retreat here each year, but it's been 3 years since the last retreat, and we are very excited to announce that the next retreat is gonna be celebrated here in July, and we will let you know all the details, but these are great and breaking news, so stay tuned. Let's go back with you guys.
Wow, very cool. So we have a special show. As you can see, all these beautiful faces. I mean, if you ever want to come to a place where there's angels everywhere, Guadalajara is the place. As you can see, a little sneak preview. So as Aldo was saying, they've been doing some work here to help an organization called Casa Huichol. And Casa Huichol was started about 20 years ago by a lady named Rocio. 40 years ago. Whew, okay. And she does an incredible job. Actually, she started a center that is responsible for taking care of the natives that have lived in the mountains for many years. And unfortunately, with technology and preservatives, you know, sometimes they need a little bit of medical care. So where they live is extremely poor. She started an organization here in Guadalajara, funded by donations, so that any of these natives can come into the city, receive care. They have incredible artwork and incredible culture. She's helping to preserve their culture. And can you tell them a little bit about the interview?
Yeah, well, many of you may know her already. If you have had the chance to come to previous retreats that have happened here, you may remember Rocio, Jerónimo, Don Jesus, like they are famous all over the world now. And they are really, really good friends, and they really take care of people who need this medical care. Jerónimo is one of our dear friends who has been a very, very long-term student here. He's not here, but because he's actually helping the immigrant project today.
As we speak.
Yeah, as we speak. So we want to show what they are doing, because they have been actually many of us, that's how we first met, by helping or getting involved with this organization. So in a way, it has been a very important seed for this community. So we want you to get to know about them and what do they do. We prepared a special interview. We hope you enjoy it.
Check it out.
Okay. You can watch there.
Light of God, hey, I know your way. Light of God, hey, I know your way. Light of God, hey, I know your way. Nova, hey, hey, nay. Light of God, hey, I know your way.
Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to this special interview we are doing here in Guadalajara. This is Casa Huichol. It's a, how do you call it, health center. And here we are very honored to be with Rocio. She's the founder of this place. We also have Jerónimo, a great friend, long-term student here in Mexico, and also Aldo Arzapalo. Such an honor to be here with you. All friends, great friends, basically like family here. So Casa Huichol has been like partner for our projects, and that's why we wanted to have some segment to talk about it, so you guys get to know it. So first, I would like to start asking Rocio, what is Casa Huichol? What is this place? And what's the story of the beginning of it?
Juan quiere empezar con la pregunta de qué es Casa Huichol, qué es este lugar y cómo empezaron en este lugar.
Bueno, este proyecto empezó en 1972.
This project started in basically in 1972.
Fui a hacer mi servicio social, soy enfermera general.
In 1972, she went as a general nurse after finishing studying. She went to do her social work in the Huichol communities.
Y fui a la comunidad de Tateiquie, que es la zona norte de Jalisco, México.
Okay, so she ended up in San Andrés Coamiata, Tateiquie. It's a community in the north, up north of the state, Jalisco. Here in Mexico, yes.
Bueno, me quedé ahí a hacer mi servicio, hice mi tesis y todo por 6 años.
She did all her investigations on the community and all her social work in the Huichol communities. Yeah.
Ajá. Y pues, me vi definitivamente en una situación muy difícil, ya que era la primera vez que las comunidades indígenas de México tenían los servicios de salud, y pues fue difícil para mí para poder realmente resolver la problemática de la salud en el pueblo Villarrica.
So it was hard for her because back then there was minimal help in the communities. Speaking of materials or healthcare in general up there. So my mom had a very hard time over there trying to help them with all their health problems because they didn't have, as I said, like most of materials that they would need to help them.
Ajá. Y principalmente las enfermedades de segundo y tercer nivel de salud.
Specifically, or more importantly, talking about the health problems in the second or third degree
De salud, que es lo complicado de la especialidad.
So it's the health problems of second or third degree. It's when things get complicated. It's not just the flu, it's problems like accidents, fractures, or health problems like cancer or things like that.
Terminando los 6 años de estar con ellos, pensé que teníamos que tener un lugar en donde podríamos derivar a estas personas de estas enfermedades tan agudas y aparte tan críticas, un lugar en Guadalajara, y es cuando en 1983, hace 40 años, fundé
40 years.
Casa Huichol.
So after living for 6 years in the communities, she started working on a project in Guadalajara of a place, working on a place where these people with health problems, with more serious health problems, could travel into and be treated in the hospitals. So she started working in this place in Casa Huichol. So people over there in the communities could travel to Guadalajara and get treated in the hospital in Guadalajara and would have a place to stay and be taken care of while they're treated here in Guadalajara with these more serious health problems.
So you say, Rocio, this place has been open since 1983. This year is going to be your 40th anniversary.
Entonces este año va a ser
El próximo mes, el 5 de mayo, o sea, el próximo, vamos a cumplir 40 años. Los invito.
So this year, in the 5th of May, is Casa Huichol's 40th anniversary. So you're all invited to celebrate with us, for sure.
Wow.
40 years.
Congratulations. That's amazing. So I wonder what keeps you going year after year, because it's been like 40 years of serving the community. That's like, wow.
Es algo que uno no puede explicar porque así como los tengo a ustedes, así los tengo ustedes. Y todo viene a dar esa energía cósmica de la creación, en donde uno no se explica el por qué las cosas se dan, pero yo creo que lo más importante de esta vida es formar las grandes alianzas. Y es lo que yo he podido hacer, grandes alianzas, porque yo a Aldo lo subí de 14 años, mi hijo desde que nació está con los birráricas, ya Jaso pues también es integrante de todo esto, y nuestro Geishe, gracias, Geishe Michael, te queremos mucho y te manda muchísimo amor nuestro Maracame, Jesús, y pues son las grandes alianzas, es tu ejemplo, las grandes alianzas.
What do you need? Like what Casa Huichol and this organization needs to keep going in their mission? How can people and how can we all help?
Yo pienso que una de las cosas muy importantes es que ustedes se involucren en Casa Huichol, que sepan que tienen un proyecto para que ustedes puedan sembrar su corazón en Casa Huichol, O sea, para mí, y eso es lo que viene a traer grandes beneficios, porque en el momento que tú sientes que estás, que conoces y que participas y estás día a día sabiendo qué es lo que estamos haciendo nosotros, tú lo estás haciendo también. Entonces, eso es muy importante porque también tú te vas a sanar. O sea, no solamente se van a sanar los bicholes, sino el dar, tú te sanas. Y el involucrarte, tú también estás trabajando. Yo no estoy sola aquí, estoy contigo. Y tú estás conmigo. Gracias, Geshe Michael, por tu corazón. Gracias por tu alianza, que son ellos. Gracias.
So she said the thing what we need the most is people getting involved in this project, because at the end of the day, when you learn about this place and come and get involved in all the activities or in whatever that you can help, the end, when you help people heal, you heal. You know, you start you start to feel changes in yourself when you get involved in a project like this that work every day to heal people. Well, of course you're gonna heal as a person. So thanks to all of you. At the end, when we're working, we're not working alone. That's what she was saying, that we're not working alone. I don't work alone. I work with you and all of us. And the more people get involved, the better. And thank you all. Thank Geshe Michael for getting involved in this project, and all of the people that want to help us in healing ourselves by healing other people that need it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Muchas
Very
gracias.
beautiful, very inspiring. It's an honor to be here with you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
opening the doors of this place for us and of your friendship. Thank you. Gracias.
Light of God, hey, I know your way. Light of God, hey, I know your way. Light of God, hey, I know your way. Noah,
There's a work thesis it's like your last
Thesis.
thesis?
Thesis.
Thesis?
Thesis.
Thesis?
It's
Thesis?
basically the same,
Thesis?
I guess.
So here we are today.
Talking about
Okay.
That was sweet. What an amazing project they had there. I met Don Jesus. He's a powerful man.
Yeah. I met Don Jesus as well. Who have you met Don Jesus?
Yes.
Yeah. ¿Tú, Kiri?
Many times. Yeah.
¿Tú conoces a Don Jesús? Sí. You will.
He was,
One
it was
day.
not muy chiquitín.
Well,
He was too little.
they're doing some great things. But so to continue on, we're going to talk about some more great things that's going on here in Mexico, in Guadalajara. And we have our friends Anatol and Aisha and Kiri. And they're going to tell us about Green Stretch Pen. So I got to know. I mean, I don't know much about this project. What the heck does that mean? Green Stretch Pen.
Kiri, what do you
It's a tongue
think?
twister.
What's green mean? That thing we're trying to get you to do every day. Green means everybody should drink their vegetables. Everybody should drink a green smoothie or a green drink
Yeah, we're trying
each
to
day.
remind the society how powerful and easy it is to eat greens and how good it is for everybody, for us and for the world.
Yeah, it's really simple. It's something that has a lot of nutrients, like green foods. Like there's a lot of local greens that grow everywhere, like in every part of the world. Each culture has their own. here in Mexico, they call quelites.
Quelites, I know them.
It's like
Yeah.
basically weeds that
They grow everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Like on the ground,
On the sidewalk,
concrete?
you
Yeah.
find quelites on the sidewalk. On the sidewalk, you can just pull them out and put them in the blender and make your smoothie.
Traditionally, there was like over 130 ones that have been identified. They're edible.
Wow.
Different weeds and edible weeds, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, if we would all eat a little bit more of those, then we could reduce a lot of pressure on the environment, on the planet.
Yeah.
It takes about maybe 18 seconds to make a smoothie, and takes a lot more energy than that to make a basic lunch usually. So yeah, it's just like a supplement to your
So the green in your name, Great Stretch Pen, it's talking about vegetables basically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
Yes, vegetables, and also try to, I don't know, I think we're all taking for granted that we have this green around us everywhere. And it's not there for granted. We have to take care of it, and we have to try to preserve it. We've been really abusing this planet in many ways, and the green is really going down, and we see more and more cement. We see more like buildings and greens that we're getting used to it, but we really need the greens. We really need trees. We really need the jungles.
Yeah.
So it's also promoting, like, we're not disconnected, you know.
Nature.
What we do every day is affecting what we're doing, our nature,
Yeah.
our
Happy
planet.
Earth.
Yeah.
Happy Earth.
Yeah.
So it's also as a message of trying to wake up to sustainability.
But
And
then
John
what about,
knows.
yeah.
John knows when we visited him, we were trying to get him to eat as many vegetables.
They got me to eat raw. It was, I gotta tell you the truth, I felt weird, man. I felt weird, but I think it's because there was so much garbage was like, there was all the garbage in me was getting a chance to come out. So yeah, I felt weird.
The greens are pushing out the garbage.
We've been got you to get a Vitamix.
I bought a Vitamix, though. I can make something out of weeds in 18 seconds.
But okay, what about stretch then? You say green, okay, plants, vegetables, nature. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What about stretch? Stretch what?
Stretch is a way to say, get moving. Don't be sit down all day, in your computer, in your phone, in your iPad. We're all like zombies lately. Our life is like in the Matrix,
okay.
like, oh yeah, just like virtual life. And then what about your body? What's going on with this? So it's like, get up for 5 minutes and just move.
Let's
You
show
don't need
them.
special
I don't know if
clothes.
they're gonna
You
cut
don't
off
need
our
to
head if we
be,
stand up, but-
in
I
a
think you can.
special
No, it's
yoga
okay.
studio like we are.
Okay, look. So you're at your computer.
Oh, you lost your head.
You're a little bit of
You're at your computer.
You're like this in your
and you've
computer.
been working all day.
Yeah.
Like this, and your neck feels broken.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of common sense that you should take a stretch break. Kind of like they show you, I think sometimes on the airplane, they even tell you, like on a little video, they'll tell you like, everybody, move your elbows around or something like that. And so anyway, in the schools, they have this new idea. A couple years ago, I think they came out with it. It's called active pauses.
Pausas activas, they've been requesting in the schools. So kids would just, for 5 minutes, get a break and move around and move their
So-
body a little bit.
It happens to be that we took all of our 40 years experience in,
Together.
in
How old are you
dance.
guys? 40 years of experience.
40 years together.
Oh, wow.
And we just combined it all. We didn't answer the question, right?
No, it's
We
okay.
just, we just combined everything into a short, potent form of mind and body exercises that anybody can use, either a very beginner or someone with a lot of ideas running around their head. If they want to apply them physically, we try to design like a structure where you can, I don't know, people call it like almost like a active,
So like exercise.
contemplation or something like that.
Okay.
Well, we call them body-mind exercises.
Yeah, body-mind exercises.
Because we also get the kids not to only move the body, but try to get that movement, reminding them of some important idea. So they work from inside to outside and from outside to inside, like we do in yoga. But we don't want to call it yoga because it's not just yoga either.
Yeah, I call it world-changing exercises. That's my
So-
new term.
You
these
said
days.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this program for? Who are you teaching? Who is this? How is
Oh,
this
yeah.
being spread to?
So it
people?
wasn't exactly our idea. A lot of it wasn't our idea, actually. So we can't really take credit, but there was an idea at some point to bring exercise into the schools, because he goes to a public school right across the street from our house, and the kids are in the courtyard and they're like doing these exercises and they don't seem very excited. A lot of them don't pay attention, and the exercises are very basic. So we thought to invent something sort of related to that, similar, but has a more like a component where you really have to put your mind and body into it in order to.
So the exercise would also affect in a deeper way and help them also mentally, socially, emotionally.
Yeah,
And-
Mexico
and-
has a big
and
problem.
Yeah, and we have this issue in Mexico,
True.
we have this big number of bullying in this country.
The
And,
statistics.
yeah, the
Mhm.
statistics are really bad here. And also obesity and overweight is very common here. It's like, I don't know, we have like almost 8% of kids with diabetes
It's
already.
the first in the world for both overweight and bullying.
Do you think there is a connection there?
So it's a serious problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought about it.
yeah.
You
Well, let's
think?
talk about it.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
it's pretty deep.
Is there a connection between overweight and
bullying.
I think so.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, there's two energies in your body, right?
Mhm.
They say
Mhm.
one where you get a lot of anxiety
Mhm.
and one where you get a lot of anger, and they're connected in the sense that you tend to switch between one and the other. So
Mhm.
a very famous example from Geshe Michael is you go to the Starbucks, you just did some exercise, some green stretch pen
Mhm.
exercise, and then you go to Starbucks and you're doing some work, you feel good, and the energy is in the middle. We call it Zhong Mai, I think in Chinese,
Mhm.
central channel. The energy is flowing really good in the middle of your body, like the way you feel when you're sitting up straight.
Mhm.
And then, but then after you get tired from, so first you order like what, something to drink
Your coffee,
or your green juice.
your
Or your green
croissants,
juice.
or your green juice, yeah, right. Your capomo. Now we're promoting a Mayan coffee that is not coffee.
Okay.
And it's really healthy, but it tastes just like coffee. So just for you to know. But yeah, for the peach tree.
And then.
So you got your first croissant and you're so happy working your computer after doing your yoga, you have your croissant, you have your capomo, everything is flowing well, or
Then
your
you start
cinnamon roll,
feeling-
right?
Yeah. Then you start feeling anxious after about 40 minutes. You start getting
You
nervous.
get in the computer and you start getting like a little
So
bit anxious.
You go up to get another, you get another croissant or something, you ask for another one. And then they tell you that they ran out
Mhm.
of them.
Mhm.
So you go from anxiety and you just want something to fill the hole to anger. You guys are the stupidest company
Okay.
ever. You don't
You don't have enough.
you don't have croissants. What are you thinking? So these two are connected. You get angry and then you get sorry, you want something and then you don't get what you want, and then you get angry, and then you're tired of being angry.
I've seen
so
that.
You go shopping again.
Yeah.
So one could be the obesity or the anxiety that gets us to eat more than what we really need, because
Yeah.
that's really the base of the problem, I think. And the other one is getting angry because we don't get enough of what we want. So, no, estoy hablando de música.
So yeah, it's in
Um,
schools.
So the antidote, you can teach about the pen, which is the antidote, which is
Yeah.
getting
Yeah,
out
the
of
last
this
part,
too.
the pen
Green
Yeah.
stretch.
and the pen.
Yeah, Penn. So Penn, 2015, big historical moment in the Congress chambers of Mexico. Geshe Michael was given a honorary doctorate degree from the University of Mexico, and he got to speak in the Congress, and he taught this idea we call the pen, very famous. I know you know. So it was very emotional. Remember, we couldn't believe, a lot of us were there, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a
Yeah,
real
really.
shift in the world, in the government, chambers of a country. This idea that we become successful by helping other people be successful. This got out there into the government. And so a promise was made to follow up on that idea. Can you do something to help Mexico? And so we said, can we teach the kids this idea? So we started to reach a lot of kids already. Yeah.
Like how many?
Yeah. I set you up, right?
Yeah.
I'm asking the
like you raise the eyebrows.
Well, we did a training right before the pandemic, and we trained 40 teachers from all over the country of Mexico, 14 states. And we were very lucky. We received a grant for the project, so we were able to bring all the people free of charge.
Yeah.
And I always like to say that we kind of acted like the government, like, that's something that the government would do, like train teachers, teach them how to do a new PE system, physical education system. So we did the same. We flew everybody there as though we were, representing the government. The government didn't give us the money. It was actually private funding, actually from China. Someone helped us, a Chinese businessman. And then we reached 40 teachers that way, right before the pandemic, just February 2nd, I think we finished the training, 5-day training.
Yeah.
And after that, the teachers went back home with a high-powered blender, like a Vitamix.
Yes.
Like a Vitamix, I said. Not a Vitamix, like a Vitamix. A little cheaper, but strong. And then they reached about 8,000 kids.
Wow.
Then last summer we did another training, 200 teachers. That's about 1/5 of the state. That's about 1/5 of 250,000 people.
That's amazing.
Which is about 50,000 kids more we reached.
Wow.
So that's almost 60,000. And then in May, we're about to do another training.
We just got last week a confirmation with a director of a state, a physical education director.
Yeah.
And they're confirming dates for us to go
We're
train
gonna bring 500 schools. So
100
that's
great.
teachers.
That's 1/3 of all the schools in the state of Tabasco and Mexico.
Wow.
So that's going to be eventually 250,000 kids. So right now about 80,000 kids.
We gotta get moving on.
Okay.
We have some great
We could
teachings
talk
from
to you.
Geshe Michael's going to be coming up, but I'm gonna move over there. But as I go out, I wanted to ask you one question.
Yeah.
How can we help you? What do you need to help this program keep going? I'm gonna let one finish up. I'll
Okay,
see
thank
guys
you.
in a bit.
John, he helps us a lot. Yeah, so what do you need? What does this project need to keep growing?
That's a good question.
I think that I had an idea about it. If you just try to find out what is 250,000 people. One time we went to this hotel, it was like these tiny little squares on the window, and we calculated it was like 23 million squares, and each one of those little dots is a person. So we have a potential to reach millions and like 30 million children in Mexico, and that's just a number for all of us. But
We can't imagine to see all that people together in one place. It's something we can't even imagine.
yeah,
It's just a number with zeros.
So
But to
just try to
imagine all those
imagine.
faces and making happy all those faces, helping them get healthier, helping them, eat better, be smarter at school, be happier with their friends, have more harmony, have less fighting. Just to imagine that in that kind of multitude, for me, is like overwhelming and like really exciting. So if you really feel a call for this project, then we're happy to receive your help. We're open to volunteers who want to participate in the trainings or who want to help in some way. You can contact us.
like our two friends here,
Yeah,
Gio
we
and
have two
Flavia.
beautiful friends.
Hey, yeah, you can come.
Gio, yeah.
Say hi.
Come. They helped us a lot over the years, a lot. They helped train our first batch of teachers, and we really hope that they'll come to Tabasco on May 19th and 20th to help pour some
Live and official.
smoothies. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. We will be having your information during the break for anybody who feels interested to follow like QR codes or more. And we will have you again very soon.
Yeah.
Maybe sooner than what you expect.
Okay.
We'll see. So, okay. Now we want to all of you, we want to show you a very, very special video that Keshe Michael prepared for us. So we're gonna go to check about it. Daniel has something.
Something. Yeah, so as Juan was saying, well, first of all, I mean, talk about amazing. So just to summarize, green stretch pin, right? I mean, like, what an incredible project. It has the potential to change an entire generation for an entire country. I mean, like, it's a serious problem in Mexico, right? Obesity, sugar, and they're changing the culture, they're changing the paradigm. And it's all about just helping people to be happy, you can't really be happy if you have to worry about your body's health all the time. So, I mean, step one to being happy is to be healthy. You know, I mean, if you don't have a strong body, then you have no chance of, you know, being able to sit in, you know, peaceful thoughts of wisdom or thoughts of love. So, I mean, getting young children and teaching them how to eat healthy is just amazing. So we're really happy that we can help spread the word of this project. And later on, we'll be putting up some QR codes with the website on how you can reach, how you can help. So stay tuned for that. And so we're also really lucky that our next segment includes our favorite rock star of them all, right? And so, I mean, he leads the way for all of us. He has helped establish the Worldview Network, the entire organization, and we are pleased to have a special continuation from the last Peachtree show, where he started to talk about a text that he and Ben Kramer are translating. And so it talks about all the different worldviews and eventually leading themselves up to a high worldview that would allow you the wisdom to change your world. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go over to Geshe Michael Roach. We don't get to have him live today. So he's traveling in Asia, and so we're lucky to have a recording. So everybody get ready and pay attention, okay? Because this is a really special teaching. When I listened to it live, when we were recording it, it really struck me as something beautiful, simple, and extremely profound. So here we go, guys. Let's check it out.
Hi, welcome to Peachtree World News, and this is Geshe Michael Roach. And I'm really, really excited to be able to appear on the first news show here, broadcasting from Mexico. And it's been kind of exciting for us to do it for the first time in another country. And we're going to be talking about a couple of things. One is I want to make sure to invite you to come to the Steps of the Path teaching that will be happening in Guadalajara, Mexico. We're coming back to Guadalajara after the COVID years, three years, I think, we couldn't come. And that'll be July 5th to July 11th. That starts on a Wednesday. It goes to a Tuesday. We tried to catch the weekend in the middle so that those of you who have to go to work real busy, you'll still be able to come to the main thing. So that'll be a whole week, Wednesday, start Wednesday, go to Tuesday, starting on July 5th. Here's a QR code. You can register for the retreat, and we're deep into the explanation of the steps on the path for developing some kind of stopping our selfishness, stopping our habit of just thinking about ourselves and taking care of ourselves, and expanding that motivation to other people. So I think it's going to be a beautiful return to Mexico. I'm really looking forward to it. My wife and I, Veronica, have really missed going to Guadalajara. We miss seeing all our friends there. And I think it's going to be a great retreat. So thanks for tuning in to Peachtree World News number 4. We're filming this whole section, this whole show in Mexico this time. I'm going to be, you know, as you're watching this, I'm going to be in Vietnam and Japan teaching there. So I'm recording this ahead of time so you guys can enjoy it. And but I do look forward to being in Mexico in July. The rest of the World News show for those 2 days is going to be really cool. And I encourage you to tune into it. So I was going to give 4 short classes, 15 minutes each. I think 15 minutes is a nice, comfortable piece of time. You know, everyone's busy in the world. And what I've learned is that if you do, it's kind of a trick. You see, you watch a 15-minute show and you enjoy it. And then you say, I'll just watch the second one. And then before you know it, you've watched 4 shows in a row for 1 hour. So, you know, when we were trying to decide a topic from the ancient teachings that would be good for this show, personally, I like to teach something that I've been working on. And I've been working intensely for about 2 months or a little bit more. It's a special book, which I mentioned in the last Peachtree show, translated by Ben Kramer and myself. It took about 5 years of classes. We went through the whole book. And this book is called The Great Ideas of the East, a survey of 101 enlightening belief systems from ancient Asia. So it's a long name of a book. The main thing is this, everybody has a belief system, you know, which we talked about at the last Peachtree show. Belief system means what are the beliefs that you grew up with, okay? And everybody's different, you know? Every country is different, every family is different, every city is different. And we all grow up with certain beliefs in our heart. And when you're a kid, you know, when you're young, that belief system is kind of funny, you know? Like in my house, we had a big spoon and a little spoon. So when we eat dinner, my mom will say, go get the little spoons. Or my mom will say, go get the big spoons, set the table and get the big spoons or get the little spoons. And then we will run to the kitchen and open the drawer and take out the little spoons or the big spoons. And then when you get to be about, I don't know, 7 years old, in my city, Phoenix, then you're allowed to go to your friend's house. We had bicycles. We traveled pretty far in our city. You know, we would travel 4 or 5 miles on our bicycles. And in those days in my city, there were many open fields. You could just cut across the fields to your friend's house. Now it's filled up. My city has increased to 1,000% since I was a kid. And so we go to our friend's house and then their mom say, oh, hey, Mikey, can you go get the big spoons, you know? And I go get the big spoons and come back and she said, no, that's a little spoons, you know? I say, no, that's a big spoons. Mrs. Smith, you know, this is the big spoons. They say, no, Mikey, that's a little spoon. You know, I said, but in our house, it's a big spoon. She said, yeah, but your house big spoon and our house big spoon, maybe it's different, you know, not the same size, you know. And there's a time when you're a kid and you have this big understanding, you know, that maybe in other houses, big spoon is a little spoon, you know, and maybe little spoon is a big spoon. And what happened was you just met another belief system, okay? So your friend's house belief system is different from the belief system in your house. And when you go to your friend's house and you find out that big spoons could be little spoons and little spoons could be big spoons, then suddenly you get a big understanding in your mind, and your mind expands 50%. You see, if you learn another belief system of your friend's family, then your mind expands. And I'll tell you honestly, when you learn another belief system, sometimes you say, you know, that one's better. I like that system better. Their big spoon is really big, and their little spoon is comfortable. I like their big spoon, and I like their little spoon better than my house, okay? Or maybe you go to their house and you say, God, that big spoon's too big. They shouldn't have that kind of big spoon, you know? So you can, when you meet another belief system, you learn something new. And then if you're smart, and as you grow up, if you're lucky, like my family and my university, we're at Princeton, where I went to university, they encourage us to go see other countries, to go see other belief systems. You know, when I went to university, there was a time, that time is gone, by the way, that they encourage you to go to a foreign country, learn a foreign, they require, every student at Princeton has to learn a foreign language. They require you to go to another country. They give you permission. I got credit. My last year of Princeton, I only went to the school for 3 months, I think. And they gave me credit. They gave me my scholarship money. And I went to other countries and I learned new belief systems. So this book, as we mentioned in the last Peachtree show, it's 101 different belief systems. And, you know, it's like the most popular songs on Apple Music or something, you know. There's, you can go see the top 10 songs, or you can go to Netflix or Apple TV and you see what's the top 10 TV shows this week, you know. And what this book is, it's written 300 years ago. And it has the 101 top belief systems for the last 2,500 years, you know, wow, you know, 25 centuries, which is about almost 100 generations of people. So think grandfather, 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 you know, 100 grandfathers back. And it's a beautiful book about the most popular belief systems. And two things are going to happen. Like we said, two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to find out a belief system that you're happy and you feel lucky that it's not your belief system. You know, for example, in here, they give an example of a belief system that they believe in this ancient belief system that if you take a horse and a live horse, and you take a hammer and a nail, and you nail 100 nails into the horse, into their body, alive. You nail 100 nails into their body, and then you kill them, and you offer that blood to the sky, you know, that this will get you special knowledge or special good deed. And it's a terrible mistake. Of course, it's a terrible mistake to think that anything good can come if you kill other living creatures. It's a terrible, terrible mistake. Maybe 100 years from now, people will look back at us and say, oh my gosh, they used to raise those cows and pigs and for food, and then they used to kill them and eat their body. And somebody say, wow, they didn't have corn, or they didn't have rice, or, you know, were they very poor and they had to kill the animals? And they say, no, they had plenty of corn. They had plenty of rice. They just liked the taste of the animal's foot and the animal's arm. And I'm like, wow, You know, so maybe in 100 years from now, people will look at our belief system and say, wow, that was so strange. Okay, so Ben's new book, which is 532 hard pages. And when I say hard page, every single page was hard work for 6 years. Every single page, we had to work hard, translate for many hours, and try to understand this ancient. There are big parts of Ben's book which are 2,500 years old, and it's very, very difficult. So we worked very hard on it. And we went through the 101 belief systems. Now, 100 of those 101 belief systems, 100 of them, there's something wrong. Okay, like, I don't know, number 3 is where you put the nails in the horse and then you kill it. Of course, that's a terrible, that's really low on the list, right? But as you get up, you know, 80, 90, you get all the way to 100, they improve. Okay, then those belief systems, they get more and more interesting because there's things we can use. There's things that, wow, I never thought of that. You know, that big spoon is really helpful. We gotta buy some of those big spoons for our house. And you see something very cool about an ancient belief system. And you say, wow, let's use this one, like the pen, the idea about the pen, you know, that comes from like 97, 98 belief system, different ideas of the pen, they come from there. So you go up to 100 belief systems. It's hard work. And by the way, you don't get new understanding unless you work hard. Okay, let's face it. You know, these books are hard. These ideas are hard. And anything valuable, anything that's going to help your whole life, it's going to be hard. Okay, it's hard. Like to learn a new language. It's not easy. To really learn other people's belief system, to learn their language, to think like them, it's not easy. It's hard work, you know. And so look, 100 belief systems, you're going to have to go through them, through this book. What I want to do today is very fun. I'd like to talk about belief system number 101. Okay, so he goes through 100 belief systems. They're great, they have some good things, and they have some dumb things, okay? Then when you get to 101, this is actually supposed to be the highest belief system. We call middle way, Prasangika middle way. It's supposed to be the highest belief system at all. And he says something interesting. He says, if you read about this belief system, if you learn it, and if you try to do it, something changes in your body. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, if you read belief system number 101 and you study it, your body starts to change. Certain changes happen in your body. And then he says, if you study 101 longer, certain changes happen in your speaking, your ability to speak. Very unusual, very cool changes in how you speak come from looking at these belief systems, part of the 101. And then he says, and then there's things that happen inside of your mind, okay? When you read this belief system number 101, when you study it, when you think about it, now catch this, 110 different things happen inside of your mind, okay? When you study belief system number 101, 110 changes take place inside your mind. And I thought maybe you guys would like to hear a few of those. And we'll start out in the next segment. We'll start out on some of those 110 changes that start happening in your mind. See you soon.
Wow. So there you go, guys. You can't go anywhere. You have to come back after the break, because if you want to learn more about the changes that can happen in our mind, in our hearts, then you have to come back. Please come back. It's going to be very, very cool teaching. You know, the ones who were involved in editing the videos and stuff, we already watched a little bit, so I can tell it's very, very worth it. So thank you for being here. I hope you're enjoying the show. We're gonna go to a small break and then come back with more. We're gonna go through another 15 minutes of Geshe-la's class. We have a few other interviews, and take a good
How long is the break?
baby break. 10-minute break, 8-minute break. See you. Hey, welcome back. I hope you have a good rest and you did everything you needed to. Here we are once again. I want to introduce you again to these very dear friends of mine, wonderful people. They are doing actually very good projects for this country. I salute you. So, okay, here we have Alejandro Rivas with us. We have Pachi Coquet, Aldo Arzapalo, Paulina Garcia. They have been around since I have memory, basically. So it's really such an honor to be here with you. Not only they are great, how do you say, organizers and teachers, but they are also very dear friends of mine. So it is really good to have you here. They have been involved with this ancient wisdom since easily like 10 years or longer. You know, they look young, but they are old. No, I'm just joking. So I would like to ask you if you can share with us a little bit of what are you doing these days here in Mexico, in Guadalajara? What are some of the main activities happening? What are kind of your daily lives related to this beautiful system? Maybe you can start. Maybe we go from this way to this way. What are you doing these days? How's a regular Monday for you?
Where I'll wake up like at the last minute when I had to take my kids to the school. Like I just wake up and run, and then I just come back to meditate, to do my practice, to do some good things for the world, and then I start translating because I work as a translator. I translate these ancient texts that Geshe translated into English. I translate them into Spanish with Aldo. I edit what Aldo translates. So it's beautiful, and yeah, I work for many organizations. But yeah, with this one, we teach here, right here, we teach the courses, and they are beautiful. Many people come and they are having fun here with us. We're building a great community here in Guadalajara. And yeah, that's it.
So you're teaching once a week.
Yeah,
that's great. But also yoga, no?
Yeah, but I will talk about it more tomorrow when with YSI, because I work also with YSI.
And what do you do, Pachi? What's your like daily, I don't know, Tuesday now? What do you do?
Well, it's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So I am part of this Asian wisdom production team. And I'm part of a group of like 6-7 more people, and we produce events in person and online for the world. So we help promote, we help expose these beautiful teachings to the world.
Pachi has helped us a lot with the tech table today. He knows a lot and is very humble and modest, but he really knows a lot. He said he was trained by Tim, so he had a good teacher. And what about you, Aldo? What's your Wednesday?
What's my Wednesday? Well, as Pachi said, we are a part of the Asian Wisdom team. And what we do basically is we teach, we go deep in the teachings of the seeds, and we make it accessible. Rivas and me, we also are translating these beautiful ancient texts. And we're teaching on a weekly basis. Actually, we teach here at this place, Monasterio. It's a beautiful place. Thank you, Julieta.
Gracias.
She was an important piece to make this happen. And we're teaching here. And we're also, like, as Pachi said, we're producing events where we're teaching this, where we're giving these teachings, and we're gonna have a teaching with great Geshe Michael soon here in Guadalajara. We're very excited. We're gonna talk about it in a bit.
Amazing.
Yes.
Cool. What about you, Paulina? For you, it's Thursday. What's your daily life?
Well, you know what? I wake up every morning and I have a beautiful baby. His name is Shanti, and is my number one
Project.
yes,
Your
project
project.
and priority. So it's amazing. And while I have free time or he's having a nap, I try to put all the ancient wisdom that these guys are trying to share on a communication piece that is relatable and beautiful for all the people, and that we can attract people to join us and listen to this amazing wisdom that has the ability to change your life and your mind forever. So that's my job and I really enjoy it.
And I remember you used to teach amazing yoga classes. What about that? Do you still do that or not these days?
I was actually, when we were driving here, I was actually remembering when I used to teach yoga, but that was before I got pregnant, and then I need to go back because I really love that. This year I'm gonna go to New York to connect again with my yoga teacher, Dharma Mitra, which is amazing. If you are in New York or near New York, you should go and visit him, because I wanna bring my practice alive back. I'm ready.
That's amazing. So I would like just to hear very quickly, like how many years have you been involved in this? And if you could share a little bit of like, how do you say, a benefit that you have seen in your own heart, in your own mind that happened. Like, I don't know, let's say I used to be, I don't know, very, very selfish, and now I'm just very selfish. So I'm a little bit, right? No, it's true for me. I see good results. I still have a lot to do, but what do you see in your personal life? If you compare yourselves with, I don't know, 10 years ago and now, and maybe that sometimes inspire people to say, okay, maybe that it works.
Yeah, I used to eat the last piece of pizza.
You used to do that? Yeah.
I used to eat it, and now I don't.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's great. You do it for somebody else.
No, yeah, but I'm very aware with the pizza thing, because once I heard that teaching, and then it really, so if there's only one piece of pizza, I don't eat it. I leave it for someone else. So that makes me a better person.
Probably, and you eat more at the end.
Yeah, and in better and in little things like that, it's not like a big change. If you see me 10 years ago and you see me now, it's not like I'm another person. I'm the same person that gets angry when things happen. But now I don't eat the last piece of pizza. So that's something really great.
So probably now any party that you go is a little better, because at least one person eats more, something like that, and they leave it happier or something.
Yeah, I can eat the whole pizza, but I leave one piece.
That's spreading happiness. Pizza's happiness could be a t-shirt. And what about you? What would you share?
I was not ready for this question, but I was thinking quickly before. And one of, everyone comes from its own background. I come from Argentina, and I remember that every day I would go through life and I experienced every day some moment of total like stress, and like a peaks of anxiety or peaks of anger maybe. I never considered myself a angry person, but I had these bursts, and they were daily. And after opening myself to these teachings, I made focus on the causes for that, and I treat that, and I still have a few of those, unfortunately, but they're so more rare and so more spaced that I can easily say that my quality of life had changed radically. And if I am here trying to expand these teachings, is because I think that that's a very valuable thing to achieve. So I'm here to try to help, basically.
And you do a lot. Thank you. What do you would like to share, Aldo, if you feel like sharing something?
Yeah. I think I used to blame a lot, I used to blame a lot for my unhappiness. Like I was blaming the world and pointing. And then I realized the only one I have to point is to my heart. And now I try to be more responsible of the world I'm living, and I try to practice and to change my mind and my heart so I can contribute to a better world. And I think I'm also struggling with the pizza with ribas. But what I do is that I share. So I buy like 3 pies and share them so I get enough.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And well, yeah, also I think as Geshe-la was saying in his video, when you study deep these ideas, I think suddenly bits by bit, slowly your mind starts to change and your heart starts to change, and then you feel like more appealed to serve others and to try to help others and be more friendly and more patient. And I think that's a good shift. I'm still very selfish, but I'm working on it.
Have you,
Yeah.
any of you have ever caught yourself like, you think like, wow, I think like 5 years this will have really make me upset or really make me sad, but this time it's like not too much, and then you can keep going? Have those ever happened?
Yeah.
It's interesting,
Definitely.
right? When you say like, wow, okay, wow, I should be crying, but I'm not. Yeah. What about you, Paul?
Well, I think for me is I waste less time by trying to get the things I want. For example, when I want results in my projects, now I know that how to get it. Like I don't waste time in doing more strategies or trying to compete or to work more. You know, I just plant the seed that I know is gonna bring me that success, and then yes, then I can do other things. For example, being a mom or do other practices, and it's like perfect for me. I waste less time. You know.
What about you?
Me. Well, that's one for sure.
Fridays.
My Friday. Well, these days I've been actually living in Arizona for like 9 months. I just came back to Mexico. I like this when they ask you like, are you traveling for business or pleasure? I think the best answer is to say both. You know, it's like very elegant to me, because it really is a pleasure being here. And it's business as well, because I have to deal with like visa, passport renewals, things like that. And I mean, we have this beautiful chance to produce this show, so it's great. And seeing friends, family, it's wonderful. I've been there, we start this show. I've been helping Diamond Cutter Classes, which is an institution who translate ancient wisdom text. I run also it's called Mixed Nuts Reading Club. It's very fun. I really encourage you to go, and we review content, we talk in an open format, and learning a lot. I think mostly that I help how I can, but I think I'm the one taking the big, how to say, the big end. I don't know, but yeah, glad to be here for sure. And so the only thing I can say a lot, but what I've seen, I have a much better relationship with my family. Everybody, dad, mom. I often think like moms and dads have a special superpower to push our buttons. I see most of my friends, we all struggle with that. It's crazy, but it's so beautiful when you can connect deeper with them. I think my personality has become more, yes, aware of others and not too selfish. I'm still very selfish, but not too, and I'm grateful for that. And also kind of relaxed. I used to be very anxious and nervous and stuff, and it's better. Now I have more fun. I think also helps to deepen connections between friends. So I definitely think the treatment works. I recommend it. Okay, so but let me go to this, because we don't have much time before next Geshe-la's talk. I hear you guys are organizing some events, very cool events that are coming up soon. I would like you, if you can tell us a little bit about that, maybe people get excited about it and they want to come. I know we have 2 things happening, right? You're producing something here, right? In Mexico, in Guadalajara.
Yes.
What is it?
we are producing, and many people that are here in the public, they are helping to produce the next Geshe Michael's retreat in Guadalajara, Mexico. Is
here, okay.
Yes.
Come on, come on.
Want to take this chance to invite you all to come to this beautiful and big international event that is gonna be on July 5th to 11th. And
Where?
where? It's gonna be here in Guadalajara, Mexico, in the La Primavera Forest. So it's a natural refuge for you take a break for your daily activities. That's what I love the word retreat. It's like take a retreat from that to cultivate wisdom in your mind, to rest your body, to open the heart, and focusing something very important, that is your well-being. Because let me tell you, the title of this event, this retreat is, I love the name, is The Power of a Good Heart, a retreat to develop inner strength.
Wow, I like it. Wow.
Yes, it's very beautiful. And what we are going to learn there, if you come and join us, is the instructions about how to develop inner strength when the things are rough and difficult in your life, that we all go through many problems, maybe our co-workers, families, partners. And when you are going through those moments that are very difficult, how do you develop compassion? This is the power of your heart. You have the power to develop compassion towards that person and yourself. So that's the main topic. Like, when you have the difficult time with a person, how you develop compassion right there, and you stop this tendency of thinking only about yourself, but also in the happiness and peace of the other person. So it's gonna be amazing, because sometimes we go to a teaching and you learn, I don't know, like definitions or this and that, but this retreat is the instructions of how to apply those teachings of compassion during your situation, and in the work or in the kitchen. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to take tools to our daily life and put it into action, like compassion in action, where we are taking care of us, but also to other people.
I want to go there. No, for sure. Okay, but that's in July, right?
Yes.
That's in July. That's 3 months. I hear you are also having another event even before that, right?
Yes, very short.
When is it?
It's April 7th to 16th.
April 7th to 16th, okay.
Yes, we are also producing an event, a retreat, a meditation retreat in the desert of Arizona, in Diamond Mountain, which is a place specifically designed to do retreat, deep retreat. It's as we do this type of events, like mostly depending of the year, but mostly 4 times a year. So when once a year, twice a year, we go to the desert. And this is a very unique spot in the world. You have to think that it's a desert, and we have a spring there. So imagine the magic, imagine the oasis that water produces in the middle of nowhere. So it's for me, it's a very magical spot. The retreat is called The Magic of Empty Meditations, actually. This type of retreats we are teaching from a book called The Steps in the Path, which are all the instructions from A to Z, to explain everything you should do to transform your reality and eradicate suffering from our mind, but above all, to help everyone else around you go through the same experience. So that's the core of this book. So we reach a point where we are explaining these two amazing meditation practices called exchanging self and others and Tonglen, which are beautiful, beautiful and very, very useful to tackle our self-cherishing and selfishness. And but above all, it's a place. Geshe would say that if you've never been to Diamond Mountain before, you're crazy, right? At least you need to go once in your life. You won't regret. So we are having this retreat April 7th to 16th. It's going to be like a 9-day retreat, meditation retreat. And please, I think that our beautiful Gina will share with you all the links in the chat. So please register there.
Yes.
By the way, one thing, you both met in one of those land green retreats, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And you're responsible for the baby she has to. So that's beautiful. You met in a land green retreat.
Yeah.
Now you are here both helping to produce events, traveling the world,
being parents,
changing diapers. Beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. And you wanted to say something else?
Yes, I wanted to say that we have a surprise for all of you, that we have the pre-registration for the retreat in Guadalajara open now. So please give us your email, because you're gonna be the first one and find out when the registration is open. So you might wanna just pre-register. And I wanted to show a 44 seconds video. Can we? And at the end, you're gonna find the QR code. Let's go.
Hey, wow, thank you. Thank you very much for everything you're doing, really, and for your friendship as well. It's very valuable. I think for me, it has been one of the great keys for, I don't know, a happy path, to have such nice friends as all of you here. Thank you very much.
We've been missing you a lot. We're a team that is very close, but when Juan goes and he comes back, he get us even closer together. Yeah.
A pleasure.
Thank you, Juan, for doing Pitch All this year.
Let's get your Michael idea. Thank you. So Daniel has another surprise for us. Let's go with him and Kitty.
Kitty are here together today. He's helping my little partner here. Okay, so that's pretty amazing. I mean, you guys saw the video. I've had the great fortune of attending many beautiful retreats in Guadalajara and Diamond Mountain. I mean, take your pick, right? If you have time, April 7th through, what's Diamond Mountain dates? 7th through 16th. Okay, so you can check it out on the Diamond Mountain site. And then, of course, here in Guadalajara, July 5th through 12th. So we're excited to bring you these retreats in the future. And if you have any questions or if you need any information, you can put it in the chat. But without further ado, we're going to go right back to the second half of Geshe Michael's teaching. And so we can hear the 110 ways that our mind changes once we reach the 101st worldview. So dig it. This is amazing.
Hi, welcome back to Three World News Mexico edition. And we're going to do another 15-minute segment here. Again, we've been going through different kinds of belief systems. And this new book that we translated, it goes through 100 different belief systems. And by the way, one of the most important books of this kind was brought to China by the great master Shenzong, who walked to around Asia for 17 years and went to over 100 countries. And one of the most important books that he brought home is an ancient book called What I Really Meant. And there's a teacher, Gautama, explains the real meaning of what he was teaching. And he does it from several different belief systems point of view. In fact, he was really teaching 5 different belief systems. So this book, translated and brought back to China by Shenzong around 640, something like that, 640 AD, 1,350 years ago, something like that. Then his student, Master Yense, he wrote an explanation. If you translate that explanation into English, it will be, I don't know, over 10,000 pages. It's unbelievable. And he's talking about different belief systems. So we went, why not go straight to the highest one? Belief system number 101. And they say, look, your mind is going to change in 110 different ways. And there's a story behind this talk. There's a story behind the talk I'm giving today. And that's that I always heard it was 37. In my Geshe program, in my studies since that time, I always heard there was only 37 ways that your mind will change. And in this book, the writer says, no, it's 110. And I'm like, I don't think so. I always heard it was 37. And then he says, oh no, 37, that's only for beginners, So already you're up into belief system 101, 101, supposed to be 37 ways your mind change. And this author say, no, it's not. The 37 is just the beginning. That's just the beginning. And then you say, oh, so the rest is reach 101? No. There's a second group of 34, so it's 37, 34, 71. Okay. And so you say, okay, I understand. 71. He says, no. There's a third group, 39. So 37 plus 34 plus 39 is 110 different ways that your mind changes. The 37, if you work hard, you can find them in the ancient books. The 110, I've never seen an explanation. And I used John Brady's database. I dug and dug and dug. It's a little bit like surfing on a wave, and it's a little bit like looking for gold in a mountain. And I worked hard. And finally, I found somebody who explains the 110. And we took that explanation and we added it to the book because nobody else ever explained the 110. And to me, it's the most interesting thing if you tell me, look, if you read these books, if you study these books, if you go to these classes, your mind is going to open in 110 different ways. I want to know what they are, I'm curious. I don't want to just skip it and I never study it, And I heard about the 37 for many years and I never understood them. it was very confusing because sometimes they say the 37 is for people who did not reach the wish to help everybody. The 37 is the number you see frequently in the other ancient books, you know, the other, I don't know, 100,000 ancient books, but nobody ever explains them. It's very frustrating. And then suddenly you find out, oh, the 37 is just the beginning. So the 37 that nobody understands is just the beginning. And then there's 34 more, and then there's 39 more. So let's talk about those three groups. And I don't mean to confuse you with the numbers. Just think of it this way. Until the day you do everything you do for other people, until the day you do everything you do for other people, you can only improve your mind in 37 ways. Okay, so until you reach this idea that everything you do for other people and yourself, of course, you're part of all people, right? Until you reach that point where you do what you do for other people, until you reach that point, you're limited to 37 major improvements in your mind, okay? Then if you can expand your heart, if you can expand your vision, if you can have this hope to help everybody in the world, then you're eligible to get how many more in the second group?
39.
34. 34 in the second group. You're eligible for 34 more mental improvements, okay? So we call 37, you can kind of say for selfish people, who they're not really selfish. I mean, they help many people, but they're not doing it for everybody. And then the next group, 39, 34. You do want to help all people, okay? And it's a new group, and it's all new mental changes, okay? It's very interesting. And then if you get very, very good, very advanced, if your heart is really, really sweet, you're eligible for the last 39, okay? So what I thought I would do today, and by the way, I'm teaching the 110 at a program called Classic Soft Power, which we're holding in Kyoto. About the time that you watch this, I'll be in Kyoto doing 4 full days of these 110. If you're interested someday in getting sort of those small group, Geshe Michael going through some really deep stuff, 4 days at a time, 3 or 4 times a year. That's called Classic Soft Power. And this time we'll be teaching it in Kyoto, Japan. So it's a small group and we go deeper and deeper. It's called CSP. So I'll be teaching this to CSP, all 110. And that's our next program for CSP, coming up about the time that you hear this. So I'm going to go through what I thought I'd do with us today for Peachtree World News. Let's get a taste of the 37. Let's just take one piece. Let's take the first piece of the 37 and you can get a feeling for it. And then we'll take a small piece of the 34. And then we'll take a small piece of the 39. And that way you can get a nice taste of, and again, this is 110 mental improvements for your mind. And nowadays, you know, in fact, this morning, I was doing some improvements on my house. I'm digging some well at my house and you know, my house, I like to improve it every once in a while, fix something or get some extra thing on my house. It's nice to make improvements on your house as you live there. I've lived there for, I don't know, 12 or 13 years. And every year I try to do some small improvement. And it's the same with your mind, you know, if you have to live in your mind for the rest of your life, it would be nice to do some improvements, right? but what kind of improvements am I supposed to do? You know, what choices do I have? So here's the first one. This is part of the 37. It's the first part of the 37. And I thought you would enjoy hearing the detail we got. Again, it's very hard to find a list of the 37, but by using John Brady's Asian Legacy Library database, we located the details of the 37, which is very hard to find. I've never seen it in like 40, 50 years. I've never seen it. And we found it, and it was, oh man, it was so exciting to find it, okay? So I'm gonna take you through the first 4 of the 37. Okay, I'm gonna take you through the first 4 of the 37. And you'll see from the detail, you know, to do the 110, probably we won't even get through that in Kyoto, but we'll start. Okay, so these are called Dramaneshashi, and it means 4 kinds of close awareness. Sometimes it's called recollection. And what that means is you keep 4 kinds of thoughts in your mind most of the day. You come back to 4 different thoughts throughout the day. And that's the first 4 of the 110. And they're kind of important, right? If you can't get to the first 4, you're not going to get to the other, what is it, 107, sorry, 106. Okay, so the first 4 is pretty important, okay? And again, there's 4 of them, and it's called close recollection of your body, close recollection of your feelings, close recollection of your mind, and then close recollection of everything, okay? So we got 4 kinds of close recollection. These are the first 4 mental changes that happen in your mind out of 110 total. Okay, so these are the first 4 of the 37, which is part of the 110. And these are practiced by people who don't have full concern for other people yet, but they're good people. They're already good people. Okay, so we're going to talk about body, feelings, mind, and stuff in general, things in general. Here's the definitions, okay? He starts out explaining the 4. He says, babies. They're like, what? And he says, babies. They're like, what do you mean, babies? You know, and he says, you don't know what babies means? Pratarjana, right? It means bala in Sanskrit. Bala means baby. And it also means power, but different idea. He says, babies means people who think the pen is coming this way. Okay, baby means baby. And by the way, this is not my tree. I mean, this is not a smart baby. This is like a 1-year-old baby. They're like, like my granddaughter, you know, okay, babies don't understand anything. They think the pen is coming this way. So these first 4 are to help people who think that things are coming this way. Okay, and here they are. And I'll just mention them and then we'll go deeper. Okay, number 1, they think that Michael lives in the body. That's why they don't understand the body. They think Michael is kind of moved into this body like Iron Man moves into his suit, you know. So my body is just a shell, like Iron Man's suit. And then I open it up and I get inside and I zip it up and I'm inside of my body. They think the body is where me stays. And then they kind of feel like the body and me is separate, kind of like I think to move my arm and then I can move my body. I'm inside my body and I'm making my body move. That's the first. When you start to understand that, you're starting into the 110. Okay, 110 begins with a mental improvement about who's running your body. Okay, if you want to start the 110 house improvements here, you have to understand that that is not the way it works. You don't get a body, move into the body, and then you say, lift right arm, lift left arm, you know, oh, look, I'm the boss of my body. Okay, that's a wrong idea. And if you reach the first of the 110 mental improvements, you realize something deeper is going on. We'll talk about that in the next episode.
All right, we're back, you guys. This is going to be our final interview for the day. So thank you for hanging with us for the length of the entire episode. We're really lucky. It's kind of like a continuation of the Green Stretch Pin project. As you can see, we have some familiar faces back on the couch. So they get busy over here, and we're really lucky to have them. And we're here to talk about another project today that shares the same name as the show. So I'll give you a little bit about that. So we're the Peachtree World News Show, and they're the Peachtree Healthy Eating Show. Okay, and so we're related because we both film our stuff originally, you know, things evolve out of the Peachtree Cafe. So that's a beautiful cafe that exists in Rimrock, Arizona. These three amigos here that produce the show actually had the incredible opportunity over the last couple of years to build the place. So we remodeled the whole place. It's really beautiful. And, you know, we've had the pleasure of having our friends to come and use it. Part of the idea of the cafe is to introduce as well healthy alternatives for modern snacks, you know, things that people are used to eating. So, you know, so the cafe is trying to introduce healthier foods to the local community in Rimrock, Arizona. And in fact, we have a special corner in the cafe with a Peachtree World News poster and a Peachtree Healthy Eating Show poster. And it's blocked off by a red rope, so that when any old person from that small town comes in to eat, they say, what is this? They go look and they find out, and you know, they get interested in projects like this. So I'm gonna ask, you know, we're gonna talk about the Peachtree Healthy Eating Show. And first question I'd like to ask, we've already been introduced, but maybe everyone can take a second to, you know, to fill in what exactly is it, you know, to tell us a little bit more. I started an intro to it, but maybe tell us about what you guys did a little bit last time for the show, you know, including the project. Remember what snack we transformed?
Oh, yeah.
You can tell the story. He added to the video, so he's fresh on it.
Great. Yeah. What do you got, Anna? Tell them about that.
Yeah, so as everyone knows, Geshe Michael, he started this cafe. We have a nickname for it, right? I don't know if we're supposed to say it here, but anyway, it was a long project. It was difficult for the county to get all the permits and everything. And I know you guys know all about that. And finally, people kept coming by every day, and they would start asking, when's the cafe gonna open? And you probably heard that like 100 times.
Every day.
So it's a really small town. I think the population is a few thousand people.
Yeah, it's a very small town in Arizona.
Yeah, and it's the only cafe that has potential of opening for a while now.
Right.
So people really count on it. It's been the previous cafe was open. It was called Crickets.
Crickets, yeah. It was open for like 20 years, 25 years, and it was like a greasy spoon cafe.
Yeah.
You go in there and you get your big slab of bacon and your big, everything's big and everything's extra greasy and extra sugar.
So everybody in the town has been eating there for like 20, 30 years or something.
Breakfast, especially, yeah.
And then, but the most famous dish, the highlight of the whole place was this thing, it's called a cinnamon roll. We call it a thing because it's about the size of a tire. This entity called a cinnamon roll. And so, you know, the three of us have this project to try to prevent diabetes. And so, you know, Geshe Michael asked us, well, can you help out here? And, you know, it's not gonna work to give them like, you know, this, you know, they're not gonna eat like a tofu cinnamon roll or something. So we needed to make a cinnamon roll that you basically couldn't tell the difference between that one and the original one. So we actually had the original chef, which was Geshe Michael's neighbor. And she came and taught us, right? How to make the original cinnamon roll.
The recipe.
And then
the
Flavia,
secret recipe.
Flavia, she's a longtime chef and baker. She had her own bakery. So she said, I got this one. So she got busy inventing a new cinnamon roll. It's like, you can tell them, Flavia, it's like no calories or something. I don't know.
In that first try, we chose numbers. We said, okay, we need to focus on something. Let's choose a few numbers and improve those numbers. And those numbers were calories, was unhealthy fats, excess sugar, and also cruelty. Because like we were listening to the class, like, I don't know, half an hour ago, the mind state, the belief system that we have, is the belief system really helping us or not? So in this case, we chose 4 numbers and we worked on improving those 4 numbers and we achieved it. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you tried the roll. You were there.
Yeah,
you were a taste tester.
That's
right?
true. So they gave a regular piece of the cinnamon roll, the old one that if you eat too much of it, eventually will cause diabetes. And the new one, which was cruelty-free, no animal products whatsoever, and no sugar. So they substitute it with like a natural almond milk, and instead of using regular sugar, they use monk sugar. And so she made these substitutions based on research and education, and also trying to make it still taste delicious. So they gave us the cinnamon roll, and I like the more natural one better. You know, it tastes delicious.
9 out of 9 preferred.
9 out of 9 doctors prefer.
Tell them that we made a blindfolded test. It wasn't telling them, try the healthy one, try the bad one. We really make them in a way that they couldn't tell the difference. They would just buy it blindfolded and say, this is the best. And then they would find out that the best was the healthiest. Something we don't believe is possible, right?
And that is the whole idea. It's not just to try to change our diet, but is it, can we take a dish that we love, we enjoy, and make it not only like beautiful, tasteful, but healthy? Can we do that with all the food that we love? Because where is the health coming from? Where is the enjoyment coming from? So it's something to do with these belief systems that we have, and also the way that we cook and the way that we prepare food. Is it a way to make the best food, our favorite food, also healthy? That is the question that we need to prove.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, you don't have to suffer in order to be healthy, you know. So it's both, right? You should enjoy what you're eating, and you should be able to continue to enjoy what you're eating for a very long time, not just for a little while, you know. And so that's the point of happiness, right? Like something you can sustain. So it's a really beautiful project. And it's something that they've worked on their whole lives. So, I mean,
adult life.
Eating in the past, you know, many lives, I think. If you know. So I mean, if they're setting the example, they're actually giving a alternative, a realistic alternative that people could easily make. And we're trying to slowly just change things for that local community, which is very unhealthy local community. So, you know, based on all of your experience that you already have eating this way, it like, what's a simple little piece of advice that, you know, this will be our last question, we're running out of time, but maybe you could end with a little simple piece of advice on how can somebody who hasn't had a lot of experience doing this and can't make it to the Peachtree Cafe for that cinnamon roll, like what advice would you give to simplify? How do you start eating healthy?
Oh, that's something that I went through a lot with patients. I've been a therapist for many years of my life. And that's one of the points that people sometimes take time to connect, that their health is connected to what they eat. Sometimes we just don't want to question what we eat because we feel the love of our mom there. My grandma taught me this. I just don't question anything. I just want to do, what they taught me, and I love them and I felt their love. But sometimes we have to learn to question a little bit about what is in there. Is it really, is that ingredient still necessary to be used for this recipe? So questioning is a good thing that we should try to really use before we have problems, because then people don't do this until they start having issues with their health issues. So my proposal is that maybe try to find an alternative for the meal you love the most, and try to think, is there a way I can replace this?
Bit for bit, right?
Exactly, little by little, because if you try to change your diet all at once, it's impossible. I tried many times and I would just like fall again, say, no, I can't live this, But if you go little by little and you question a little bit, what can I change about this meal that is a little bit less unhealthy? For example, greasy, for example, using a better oil, or for example, changing the salt you're using and find a better source of salts that now is easier, or more kind, exactly, because then we don't question about how did this thing got to my plate, what it had to go through to get to my plate. And then a lot of people, a lot of beings suffer to feed you sometimes, and it's not necessary. So maybe we can start questioning how we can change little ingredients.
And tomorrow we have a recipe. Tomorrow we have a video where we took a Mexican traditional dish.
Wow.
We went to a family house. Sophie and Diego, you're gonna meet them tomorrow. I mean, you know Sophie, but you're gonna see the whole family. We took a dish they love. We all love. I'm from Argentina, but I love chilaquiles anyway.
Oh,
and
wow.
we made
No
them,
way. That's Kyrie's favorite.
yeah, like bit by bit. Just really have fun. Like try to look for one ingredient that you can improve, get used to that, make your family getting used to that. And after that, you can change a little more. Have fun, don't suffer. This idea is to make food better, not worse, another problem, but just healthier, better for everyone, and also fun.
You want to add anything?
No,
Cool.
that's perfect.
Great. Yeah. So I guess in summation, it's a good idea to think about what you're putting in your mouth and how it affects your body. And you might want to question whether or not that big spoon they've been feeding you your whole life might be better off as a little spoon in this case, and just because they told you to put a big spoon in your mouth your whole life, it's good to look at the results of that for the people around you. So, I mean, maybe you're lucky and maybe the spoon's perfect and you've already had a nice, introduction, but it's good to question if it's actually working for those who have taught you that method. So, let's just take that and think about that until tomorrow's show. Don't forget, we're going to be back tomorrow at 7. We have really exciting show tomorrow. It's going to be our first time with live music. Yeah, we have a couple of more interviews. We're going to be doing an auction, trying to raise money for Casa Huichol with the beaded necklace and earrings that we showed you. So we'll try to raise a little bit of money for them. And we'll finish, of course, Geshe Michael's incredible teachings. So the best part is yet to come for Geshe-la's classes. So thank you for tuning in very much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.